It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like,
in relationship, me and Mignon.
What's up, sports freak?
Listen, I know sports better than most females.
Love. You know, what do you know about love? What do you possibly think you know about love?
Maury Lang Show with the Renegade Relationship. Let me shatter that myth real quick before you go on. Just because a woman likes sex all the time does not make her a freak.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Routes and Relationships. And I am Mia Mignon.
Maury Lang Show here.
What's up, Maury Lang
What's
Show?
going on?
What is happening?
The NFL is back in the spotlight. That's what's happening.
Yes, welcome back. NFL, welcome back. Yes.
The NFL
It's king, always king. Gotta stay in the spotlight even when you're not supposed to be in the spotlight.
So we're going to tackle that in the first half.
Yes.
Second half, we're going to talk about
When is enough in a relationship?
how much is enough.
How much
Can
I'm
you
not
take?
gonna use that word.
What? How much can you take?
No. When she said in Boys, I was gonna say Boys in the Hood. What's the movie with Jodie and Yvette?
Baby boy?
Yes, and Baby Boy. When she was like, "Damn it, Jodie, how much can a bitch take?" So enough is enough.
How much is enough?
Yes.
We're starting off.
With your.
Oh, we got
fabulous-
sponsors. You guys have sponsors.
Oh yes, this segment, the sports segment, is brought to you by www.greattravellife.com for all
Right.
your travel needs, hotels, flights, trains and planes, and
Cruises
family
and vacations.
and all that good stuff.
Visit greattravellife.com.
Yes. Click, 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 click.
Greattravellife.com.
Yes, I found a good deal on greattravellife.com.
Awesome. They even got cruises and vacation packages on there, so make sure you
Yes.
go check them out. Brought to you by greattravellife.com.
Yes.
All right, the NFL
The
and
NFL.
this national anthem, quote unquote, protest.
Yes.
Let me ask you something.
America the Beautiful.
When did we start protesting the anthem?
2016. Maybe.
That was almost a trick question because I can't even remember when we were protesting the anthem.
Well, we were protesting the anthem in the 60s, but it got lost. And then in 2016, it got picked up again. And here we are in 2018, and the protest got lost again.
You're still not picking up what I'm putting down. My point is, there has never been a protest of the national anthem.
Oh, right.
There's that's how lost. See how lost the message is.
Right, you're right.
That's how completely lost the message is gone. The protest is police brutality and the killings of unarmed black and brown people, and Colin Kaepernick started to kneel during the national anthem to bring awareness to that issue. The issue again is the police unjustly shooting and killing black and brown people. That is the issue.
Well, the issue has been by the wayside because you have people like Anquan Bolden and Malcolm Jenkins accepting $90 million to, and I quote, to prevent demonstrations during the NFL season, during NFL games, during the national anthem.
Well, I cannot believe how cowardly the players have been. I expect Goodell, the commissioner of the National Football League, to be a coward because he is a coward. And I'm actually shocked that 32 men that run these clubs who are members of the National Football League and how scared of Trump they are.
Because they have the billionaire mindset. It's like they don't care about social justice. They don't care about what goes on when you're outside, when you're driving your car as one of my black NFL players. But while you're in this arena, in this bubble that we call the NFL, this is what you must do. You must show up, you must perform, you must do what you're supposed to do along these lines. And that's all they care about, is their bottom line, is the money. That whole social justice stuff, it doesn't have anything to do with them. They don't want it to have anything to do with them, and I'm talking about the owners. All they want to make sure is that they make their billions and billions of dollars from Pepsi, from Coca-Cola, from Papa John's, from American Airlines, from you, from me.
Those are just sponsorships.
Yes, all of the, you, me, everybody. If they said that last year this whole kneeling doing the anthem thing and they took the narrative and made it wrong and it started costing them money, then hey, what can we do to get our money back in our pocket?
Well, you're talking about sponsorships. That's almost like a blip on the radar for NFL revenue.
I'm talking about altogether. I said you, me,
but you said
yes,
you said Papa John's,
American Airlines,
those
you,
are,
me, everything.
Once again, those are NFL sponsorships.
Okay.
Their bottom line has not budged. The big deal is their contracts, their streaming contracts. They just signed a $2 billion deal with Verizon to stream their NFL games. They're streaming on Twitter for millions upon millions of dollars.
Right.
All the bottom line of NFL, their bottom line is fat and happy.
Well,
it hasn't changed. So that's
changing.
why I don't understand why even make a big deal about it, especially now when the whole Anthem thing was dying off because players are being bought off and it was going away. Now they've come up with this Anthem policy and just brought it back to life. Like how stupid can you be?
They came up with the Anthem policy because right before they made this policy, you had your NFL Players Coalition accepting money in exchange for we won't do these demonstrations. So for the NFL to protect themselves, to make sure that we give you this $90 million and you don't demonstrate with my $90 million, we're going to put this dumbass Anthem policy in effect.
Well, that just proves how dumb the NFL is. They've been known for making horrible decisions, but this is just another This is another dumb decision by Goodell and his cronies to regurgitate something that was already dying off. You know, the fact you're gonna put $90 million out. How many years is that?
Over 6 years.
$90 million over 6 years in a social justice pact, pretty much buying off the demonstrations. And then come up with this dumbass policy. Have you seen the actual policy?
I have. I don't know if most people have.
No,
we got the headlines.
The policy is 6 points. Point 1: all team and league personnel on the field shall stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. Point 2: game operations manual will be revised to remove the requirement that all players be on the field for the anthem. Point 3: personnel who choose not to stand for the anthem may stay in the locker room or in a similar location off the field until after the anthem has been performed. Point 4: I want you to see if there's a theme that you catch on to a theme for this. Point 4: a club will be fined by the league if its personnel are on the field and do not stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. Point 5: each club may develop its own work rules consistent with the above principles regarding its personnel who do not stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. Point 6: the commissioner will impose appropriate disciplinary actions on league personnel who do not stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. Do you see a theme in this dumbass policy statement?
I do.
What do you get out of that? I'll tell you what I got out of it.
Respect the flag and the anthem.
Respect the flag and the anthem. Now, sport freak.
Yes.
You're smart. Who is going to the police showing respect for the anthem and the flag?
They're going to hire respect the flag police officers. And they're going to be on each sideline and they're going to make sure that every player is, and every coach or whoever else is doing what they're supposed to do when it's time to do the anthem.
This is about, I'm telling you, the more I look into this and read about this and what this is all about, this is about the dumbest bullshit I've just about ever read.
It's
from
dumb.
$1 billion organization.
It's dumb, but it's...
Like, who decides what disrespect of the anthem is? Who decides that? If I stand there with my arms down, staring at the sky, is that disrespect?
Well, no, they said you're supposed to stand, right? As long as you're standing
and show respect.
They told you what disrespect was.
Which disrespect?
Raising your fists and linking arms during the anthem constitutes a lack of respect.
Well, just like Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press said, that's patently absurd.
I agree, but that was your definition of lack of respect.
This is about to get stupid.
Doing anything other than
more stupid and more stupid. My God.
Doing anything other than putting your hand over your chest and singing the anthem with pride is a lack of respect.
So that point 2 though, or point 3, that they've removed the policy where you have to be on the field during the anthem. So you're allowed to stay in the locker room.
Stay in the locker room.
And that's going to be your form of protest. You just stay in the locker room.
Yeah, stay in the locker room.
So they said, you can't do this shit publicly. Take that shit behind closed doors. We don't want this shit out here. But doesn't that bring awareness? Doesn't that bring the same attention as kneeling?
Yeah, because you're going to have people say, well, hey, Mia Mignon wasn't out there and Maury Langshaw wasn't out there, then they must believe that,
right,
whatever the cause is.
That's disrespect for the flag.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be constitute disrespect for the flag? Not showing up?
But like I said, I'm one of the ones, and I may be in the minority here, that the Players Coalition brought this on themselves. When you accepted money from the devil, this is what you get in return. You accepted the money, and this is what you get in return. That you cannot demonstrate your interpersonal social injustice causes on our playing fields. This is our business, and you can take your protest somewhere else. And we're going to pay you to take your protest somewhere else. And they said, gladly, boss. Which way you want me to go?
That is so sad. That is just so sad. I'll close with this. And if you can keep on going, but I was going to express how dumb this is. But I think we all should try to remember why, in the first fucking place, the players like Kaepernick decided to kneel in the first place. Mm-hmm. It's not to protest the fucking anthem. It's not to show disrespect for the flag. It's because people like Milwaukee Bucks player Sterling Brown, who was tased during a minor parking issue, or Stephon Clark, who was shot by Sacramento police in his own backyard.
Well, what's the former football player? The video, he was crying and he was like, I'm not doing nothing. And they were roughing him up coming out the mall. You know which video?
Oh, yeah.
It's like 100 of those videos going around, but...
Yeah, there's a legion of those other videos. So remember the reason why the kneeling took place is just to bring attention, during the national anthem, bring attention to all these injustices against black and brown people.
Yeah, well, they paid it to go away because they don't want to discuss the injustices going on with black and brown people. That's not an issue for them to discuss or fix in America. That's not what they want to do. So
it's just amazing that the actual policy for the 6 points is revolving showing respect for the anthem and the flag. Well, that's amazing to me. That's the fucking narrative.
Fuck the anthem and fuck the flag. How about that?
We really need to say fuck the NFL, but how many people are going to do that?
Well, then that's a whole different thing for me too, because if you say F the NFL, then there's a whole lot of black people that's going to be out in the street. Social injustice if they jobless. So, I don't know. Everybody should just pack up and go to Wakanda. What you think?
It's funny because my buddy wrote a post on Facebook talking about the Exodus. We've tried from after the Emancipation Proclamation, we've tried to get along to get along. They say we don't want you with us, be over there. So we did that. Created businesses, very successful. They come and burn it down.
Yeah.
We try to integrate, say, let's all just really try to get along. We want the same education, same rights, We tried that. It doesn't work. We tried to, protesting, marching, praying. We tried the churches. Say that again. Tried the churches.
Yoruba.
Tried the churches. Pray to the same God. That doesn't work. We're still in the same fucking spot. So, my buddy suggested, maybe we gotta think about an Exodus.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, the problem is black folks as a community, they're so fragmented from light skin to dark skin, from conservative to liberal, Democrat, Republican. Everybody has their own viewpoints on how to handle things. Black people can never unify.
Yeah, because Jesus told them that you're supposed to love your brother. You're supposed to
Who did?
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a problem.
Jesus told
You're
Jesus.
listening to the wrong person.
Yes, Jesus said that you should love thine enemy.
But anyway, I've said my piece. No, don't forget the actual reason why. Please go back to that. The actual reason why. It's not a disrespect to the flag or the national anthem. People kneel during the national anthem to bring awareness to the social injustices of police brutality against black and brown people. And there's legions of stories behind that show that.
You know,
So please.
I'm still lost on why any black performer want to sing the national anthem during these times. I'm still stuck there. That's where I'm still stuck. So.
You're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Everything's for sale.
Yeah, I see. It was for sale for $90 million.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on to our next segment.
When enough is enough. This is simple for me. I've given a lot of advice on when enough is enough.
Well, when is enough is enough?
You want to go first?
Because I think enough is enough varies on female to male.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, so I guess enough is enough. Like, you as the male, how much do you think that your woman is supposed to put up with to be with you? And me as the female, how much do I think that you're supposed to put up to continue to be with me?
I don't think of it like that at all. Because what you're asking is what I think about how you feel about it. Or you're asking the spouse to predict what's enough for their significant other. I'm saying, I always advise, like, you gotta look at yourself. And for me, it comes down to value and self-esteem. Even though self-esteem that's a very emotional state where you can go high and low, and some people don't have control over it. But one thing you do have control over is how you value yourself, what you think about yourself, your self-talk about you, how much you love yourself. And for me, that's quantifiable with how much you will take. So if you're willing to put up with somebody staying out all night, and you personally don't like that, and you communicated that, and it continues to happen, the level of the disrespect that he stays out all night knowing that you have a problem with it is directly related to how much value you have for yourself as long as you stay in that relationship. Does that make sense?
I think. I think.
Because if you really value yourself, let me just put it to you like this. We were having this conversation last Monday night on another podcast that you only put up with what you allow. So if you allow a person to stay out all night, then they're going to stay out all night.
Right.
It doesn't matter how mad you get. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to leave the relationship saying, hey, I've asked you, I've sincerely communicated my issue with that. Mm-hmm. And if you continue to do that, then how I value myself, I can't put up with that. It's that simple. Very hard to execute, but it's that simple. Somebody, cheats on you repeatedly. Mm-hmm. And you've had the conversation of, I don't share. Mm-hmm. Then, if you're still with that person that cheats on you after you've had the sincere conversation, communication of what you will and won't accept, that speaks directly how you value yourself.
Are you saying are you still with that person and they continue to cheat? Because
Mm-hmm.
people, I was going to say, because people forgive people for cheating all the time and then they continue to be in a relationship. But you saying that they can cheat on you, you take them back, they cheat on you, and they take them back. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, everything, because life is really about forgiveness, but how much forgiveness do you give somebody for doing the same shit?
Right.
Like, if I have an affair, and that's another thing to distinguish, an affair versus cheating, because it's common that a couple is so comfortable that everybody's independent, they do their thing, and it's a conversation we had on another podcast, is why a lady asked a question why she gives her man the world and he still cheats. So I want to distinguish between cheating and having an affair, because cheating is sexual for men, which means, of course, everybody knows it's cliche-ish by now, but it's a physical act for a man. He can go there, do his thing, come back home, act like nothing's wrong. It's just something new for a man to do. It's like a career, a job, a car. Men like new things. That's why I've heard me talk about this before. Become that new thing, and that's hard to do too. But become that new thing. So like reinvent yourself. That's what men like. They, after 5 years, a car could be running just fine, but he sees the shiny little red Corvette. Guess what he wants now? Shiny little red Corvette. He's not gonna get rid of his old car. Even men with jobs. You look at how many men are in careers. Let's say it's one industry. Let's say they're in IT. How many times do they change a new job within the same field? They go from one contract to another contract because they're tired of this old thing. They just want something new. Even if they have a business, you could have a barbershop. If another business opportunity comes up, say, "Ooh, there's something new. Let me, try that." And he tries that. It can become successful or not, but he's going to just try it and come right back to the barbershop.
Yeah.
Men just like something new.
Yeah.
Now we get over to the affair. For how much can you take? The affair now, this man has now purposely gone out and met somebody, had sex with somebody, and continues the relationship with that person. That's a problem.
But the cheating is not.
No, it's all a problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all a problem. But I'm saying there's more to it now. Because I'm a relationship guy that I'm accountable. You have to be accountable. Each individual is accountable. When a man cheats, or a man has an affair, or even a woman cheats and a woman has an affair, women say, "Well, you made me do this. You weren't giving me this." But for a man, when a man does the same behavior, it's like, "Oh, you're a dog. How could you do that? You should have left me first."
Well, because the men don't communicate the way a woman does. A woman tells you, "I'm about to cheat on you," without saying those words.
Then she didn't say it.
If a woman comes to you and say to you, "I'm telling you, you got to do such and such and such, or something is going to change." When she tells you that you got to do this, or something is going to change, or you have to do this because I don't know how much more of this I can put up with, or how much more I can take, that right there is letting you know that you need to step your game up, or I'm going over here with Tony because Tony is going to step up in the area where I need you to step up.
That is such bullshit.
Okay.
That is such bullshit.
All
because
right.
for one, a woman is not going to be that direct to a man, because a woman knows a man, his first reaction is defensive.
So if she said to you,
watch what you about to say now. Watch how you about to say it.
If a woman came to you and said, and she's repeatedly said this to you, so this is the last time that she's saying this to you. If she comes to you and she's saying, "Listen, Maury, I need you to be here more," or what was the other thing that you used? "I need you to be here more," or "I need you to stop staying out until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning because I don't know how much more of this I can take, or something is about to change around here if you continue to stay on until 1 o'clock in the morning." And that's her way of communicating, letting you know that I'm about to step out.
Well, there's a high probability, for one, she's already put the feelers out for stepping out, because that verbiage, that syntax that you're talking with, she's already put it out there.
Yeah.
Because again, a woman knows that a man's first reaction is going to be defensive, and she don't want to deal with it. Not that she doesn't want to, she doesn't know how to deal with that. It's like if you come to me, and I ain't saying using us as an example because it's really uncomfortable actually. We're such a great couple.
Okay.
No, seriously, a woman comes to a man and says, "Hey, step up your game, or else It's like, and he believes that his game is stepped up. Like, what are you talking about?
Kind of like DL. I tell you, I pay the bills in the house. What the hell you complaining for?
Yeah, just like the woman that says, I do everything for a man, and he still cheats. Like, says who? Like, have you had the conversation of doing everything for your man? So it's all relative, and that's where the sincere communication comes in. And it's tough conversation. It's mature conversation. But if you really feel that way, then it has to be had.
Well, you want to know what enough is for me?
For you, I really don't know.
Most women like me.
Okay, let's just say.
Most women
what you
like
think,
me. Yes.
What's enough for a woman?
Women like us, myself and those wonderful women out there. Women like us put it out in the beginning. What we, like you say all the time, we have non-negotiables, and we put
Where did you learn that term?
I say like you say all of the time.
Oh.
We have non-negotiables,
Mm-hmm.
and once you break one of those non-negotiables, that's enough. You can. All you need to do is just break them one time, and that's enough.
And I agree with that, but it has to be communicated.
Yeah, it's going to be. I said women like myself and those wonderful women like me out there, they're going to tell you up front when she starts having a conversation with a guy that she's going to be in a relationship with, and they get past the whole Steve Harvey, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 90-day plan? When they get into that, she's going to say, I want this, I'm looking for this in a relationship, I can't deal with a man that does such and such and such and such, and she's willing to compromise certain things, but this is what I'm not willing to compromise. And he knows that up front before he gets into a relationship with her. And then when he does it, because he's going to be selfish,
Not necessarily.
he's going to be selfish at some point in the relationship, and he's going to do it, probably not even know that he's doing it, but he's going to do it. And she's going to bring it to his attention. Remember when we had this conversation and I said, this is what I wanted and what I could not accept. You've done this. And that's when your sincerity, when you say about be sincere, he comes back and say, I didn't know I was doing that, then she may be willing to deal with it. But if you know, like if one of my things is, I can't deal with you cheating, and you go out and cheat, then okay, all right. But if it's something else, she's going to communicate it. Believe me, she's going to communicate it.
Yeah, but she's going to communicate at the last minute, though.
No, in the
she doesn't. She doesn't, because I see where you're going, and we've experienced this actually.
We communicated about what we wanted, right?
Yeah, but the distinction has to be made where it's non-negotiable, and that conversation rarely happens. Like cheating, yeah, okay. Non-negotiable. If we're going to be together, we say we're going to be together, we're going to be in a monogamous, emotional, committed relationship, then that's non-negotiable. Okay, that means I can't be in another relationship. I can't be non-committed. I can't cheat. That's clear. But, for example, my friends, quote-unquote friends, I know a lot of people from high school all up until I'm 45 years old. I communicate with any and everybody. If you tell me, like, I don't feel comfortable with you talking to X person over there, I'm like, I could say, like, question it, like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, there's nothing going on with X person over there.
What type of X person? X person that you knew from high school, or X I used to fuck with?
Because
that's different now.
That is different. I'm going into my point there.
Okay.
Like, to me, that could be no big deal. That's actually no big deal.
Which one?
The X. Let's say X. You have Y friends from high school, and you have X. Y and X. Let's use the double meaning of X.
Okay.
I have no problem being cool with the X. And there's nothing between you and the X. You look at it as, if she's still cool with you, that means the door is still open in her eyes. She still has an opportunity to get back with you or continue something with you. I disagree with that assessment. But the bottom line is, to your point, is that's my belief, that's my non-negotiable. I'm not going to tolerate you being friends with an X. And that conversation never happened up front. That happened when shit hit the fan.
Well, those situations, being friends with exes or being able to talk to exes instead of wives, those are tricky because there are people like myself that talk to exes, but the door is closed and those exes know. There are people
Right, but
like
your spouse doesn't know.
Yeah.
In your eyes, and that's exactly what I just said.
Your spouse knows because your spouse isn't left feeling like it's important to you to always have this open communication.
But that's maturity on your spouse's part.
Once your spouse communicates with you saying that, hey, I don't feel like you closed the door. I feel like that if anything, you have an openness about your relationship with X to let X know that if anything goes on my end at home, then there's always a possibility that I can circle back. Not saying that you want to circle back, but the relationship, the dynamic, the conversation, the comfortableness of that relationship always can make it seem like that it could be circled back because you as the spouse talking to your ex-spouse don't close that door.
Right, but it's the same relationship with everybody though. She's not any special that she has access or we can talk. Everybody, that's my personality. I'm cool with everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's not that they're special, they have access to me. This is the fact that we had a past relationship it could have been just dating. Mm-hmm. That they reach out once every 6 months.
But if you communicate it back to your spouse, like what you're saying, if you communicate back to your spouse and it's received to your spouse as communicating with this person, being available to this person is much more important to this person and yourself than it is your spouse, then that's when your spouse say, hey, if it's more important for you to do this over here, then go do it.
Right, that, and see what part of the conversation that comes up in? It's now, after the fact. We've gone through all this now, explained who the person is, who's what and where in the relationship,
but
and now it's coming up and saying, look, if that's important to you, and I'm now explaining, keyword now explaining, not explaining at the beginning of the relationship, I'm now explaining to you that can't be more important than me.
But she said it.
It's now non-negotiable at this point.
But she's probably said when
she
sort of
probably said
no,
it.
listen, because
either she said it or not.
She's probably said during the course of the relationship where he's talking to X, and she's like, well, damn, why you gotta tell her? And you like, oh, well, you know, I don't know. One of her family members needed some advice, and she only knows me to give that advice. And you're like, okay, all right. Then it goes from here she is reaching out again, or here they are reaching out again, and then here's your spouse again, like, well, goddamn, family needs some more advice. And you like, well, you know, hey, I'm just lucky that she's just friends with me. Because, you know, our breakup was whatever it was, and I'm just lucky she having friends. So then at this point, your spouse is like, okay, well, why the hell are you a revolving door for this ex? So she comes to you and she says, I don't like the fact that you're a revolving door. Then when you come back and say, not you per se, but when you come back and say,
not me per se, but when I come back and actually say it, but not me per se.
Well, because I'm saying you and she and you, so I'm trying to get it all together. But when you come back and say, well, what's the problem with me talking to exes? Then that goes into, oh, you must be insecure, da-da-da-da-da. But she's already said to you the first time, like, why she gotta reach out to you? You said family member. Then here she go again reaching out. But damn, she got another family member, and you like, oh no. Like, it's just the constant, your availability to your ex.
See, and it should be pointed out that you keep on saying, like, a revolving door. Or she reached out again and again and again. And it needs to be clear for total transparency. Let's just say she reached out about a family member in January of 2017. Mm-hmm. Your version of the story makes it seem like she reached out in February, and March, and April, and we have this ongoing relationship. But what actually happens is somebody reaches out for a favor or some advice on a very specific thing that you are probably one of the best people to help her with in January. she reaches out again. It's like, yo, I saw you at so and so in November, and then I make something up. It could be anything. She want to reach out for a specific reason. There's got to be a specific reason. Now in the following August, so that's 3 times in the past year and a half. See, to me, that ends up being no big deal. Like, so what? I talked to one girl 3 times, not even held a conversation, question, answer, and thank you. 3 times in 18 to 20 months.
So
to me,
that's no big deal.
There's no big deal.
For
you,
in her 45 years, does she know people that
No.
In her 45 years, you're the only person that she knows that where you can find pink socks. Specific pink socks. You're the only person that knows that.
No. It's very specific because for me, I've done very specific things. Bartending. How many bartenders do you know personally?
A couple.
2?
A couple.
That's 2.
Okay.
So you know 2 bartenders. Was
no,
one of them an ex?
No, I've never dated a bartender.
Okay.
I mean, I know a few bartenders that I'm just not going to go.
Right, that's what I'm asking
you.
Yeah. Bartending is very specific. Like, how many bartenders do you know?
I know a few bartenders.
Now it's few. You just said
a couple.
2.
A couple. I didn't
you
say
know
2.
2.
You said 2. I said a couple.
A couple is 2.
Okay.
Hello?
Well,
A couple is 2.
All right, I know a few. More than 2 bartenders.
So a few is like 3 to 7.
I know more than 2 bartenders.
So you know 6 bartenders?
Okay, let's go with 6.
Do you know 6 bartenders or not?
Yes, go.
You know 6 bartenders right now?
I know 6 bartenders right now.
Name them. Because I think you're just lying to make your point.
Are you serious right now?
Yes, name the bartenders you know.
I am not going to name the bartenders
Besides me.
I know.
Besides me, who do you know?
Are you serious right now?
Yes.
Go ahead and make your point.
Because it's very specific because according to you, you know 6 bartenders.
Okay.
So you can reach out to 6 different people. Most people don't know 6 bartenders.
I know.
Including you. But I know 6 bartenders. This is what my interest. So an average person is going to know maybe 1 or 2 bartenders. So they're going to reach out to those 1 or 2. And depending on which one you reach out to, who's more experienced, who's more polished, based on what you're asking, who can help you the most.
Right.
And somebody like me, who's very knowledgeable, knows a lot of people, who's been to the school, been to the bartending school, and industry experience, people are going to come to me for bartending questions. Same as real estate. Like, how many real estate agents do you know? To change it from bartending.
You want a number? You want
yes.
a number? I know 7.
You know 7 real estate agents.
Yes, I'm friends with 3. Like, good friends with 3.
Okay, again, maybe no is not the right word. Like, how many people could you reach out to for a bartender?
7. For bartending?
Bartending or real estate. Could you reach out to more than 3 people?
I can reach out to 7 people.
So you have access to, so you don't have to call an ex then?
No.
You don't have to call it. And your ex is one of these people. So you don't have to call you don't have to call one of them now. So you are very well known in all these very niche industries. Most people, they may know 2 or 3 real estate agents.
Listen, if we talking about specifics, like you said, bartender and real estate, I get it. But when you start talking about, like you said, hey, I saw you somewhere, or when you start talking about, the Chitlin Circuit plays and all that other stuff, reaching out about the Chitlin Circuit plays and, hey, Chitlin Circuit, yes. Yes, the Chitlin Circuit. You never heard of the Chitlin Circuit? The Chitlin Circuit? Yeah.
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, when you start reaching out about Chitlin Circuit plays or whether or not it was good, reaching out to your ex, hey, I saw that you were at this play. Can you tell me about it? Da-da-da. Bitch, you got 500 friends in this small-ass area. He wasn't the only one who went to this play. You called somebody else. And I'm talking about stuff like that. I'm not talking about real estate. I'm not talking about bartender. I'm talking about Galaxy phones and Chitlin Circuit plays and that kind of stuff.
See, and that's and again, it kind of embellished. Kind of embellished. It's not quite as you state.
What? I'm serious. Like when they start reaching out, I'm talking about for stuff like that. Chitlin Circuit stuff like that.
Well, I'm glad nobody reached out to me like that.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, now I thought we said we weren't going to talk about us. Do you want to talk about us?
Nah.
Because I was getting ready to say.
No, because we actually are talking about us, but the way you're talking about us is very embellished. Like, one ex saw me in the casino, when I was with you.
Look at you. I'm not even talking about that incident.
But those are examples, though. Those are examples, though.
I'm not
because
talking about that.
no one reaches out to me and say I saw you somewhere, except for that one time.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the church.
Somebody said saw somebody look like me. That was
Yes.
That was 9 months after they asked me a previous question.
Yeah.
See, the
Chitlin Circuit play, or was it the question? Because don't forget, the Chitlin Circuit play was in the middle of that.
I don't know what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
I know. Plead the fifth. Go ahead and plead the fifth.
Okay.
Get it. Social injustice over here. Social injustice.
Okay. Embellishment.
Hey, you know it. I know it. AT&T and Verizon can prove it. So.
Yawn.
Hey, I know.
So how much can you take? I can't take any much more of this damn conversation, I tell you that much.
Neither can I. So on that note, all exes, if you want to reach out to Maury Langshaw, you go right ahead and try. And let's find out how much enough is enough. That's the end of the show. We want to thank you for listening to Routes and Relationships, and we are out of here.